she's hitting it, and then she offers it to me. Now, initially on the inside, I'm like, I don't want to hit this. You know, like, this isn't my thing. But you heard that? That's the sound of failure. To be specific, that's the sound of failing to quit nicotine, man. I've tried to quit juuling 4 times now. And you wanna know what's funny? I used to think that vaping was like the lamest thing ever. It just didn't look cool to me. You know, it didn't mean that you weren't a cool person. Just vaping itself didn't seem cool to me. Which is why I am sick to my stomach to admit that I have spent thousands, hundreds, probably thousands of dollars on vapes. Over the last 2 years, of course, you know, it takes a while to rack it up, but it does add up. That's what they don't tell you before you get addicted, you know, is that this shit is expensive, bro. But today I want to give you a cautionary tale. I want to tell you a story of how I started juuling, right? And that's just a term I use. I don't use Juul anymore. This is not a sponsorship for Juul. Fuck Juul, they took away mint pods. But let me tell you the story of how I got wrapped up into this. Because if 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, you came to me and were like, yo, in 3 years, you're going to be heavily addicted to nicotine, I would be like, nigga, what? Are you dumb? But here I am, you know, with a vape right by my side, which please do not do this, okay? If you have not ever inhaled nicotine, promise me that you will not, because it is not worth it. So, if you remember Quinn from the I'm Not Ready to Be a Dad video or something like that, you know, that was my boy that I lived with, and he vapes, bro. Like, he's a vapor, right? White boy, beanie, long hair, right? And he has one of those boxes, like that shit looks like it should turn into a transformer at some point in the day, right? Like, they're big and bulky, they have these huge batteries, and they create these massive clouds, right? He was a vapor, and I lived with him for about 2 years, and in that time period, he had offered me to vape multiple times, and every single time I was like, nah, bro, I'ma stick to grass. You feel me? Like, that's not my thing. So for 2 years, I successfully fended off any advances made by Quinn to, you know, partake in this activity, right? Fast forward, maybe what, 2 years later, and now I'm living in Austin, Texas. And it's always a woman, man. It's never not a woman. I swear to God, my downfall will be at the hands of some beautiful woman. That is for sure. It's written in stone already. It's coming. Right, so I had this date with this girl, and this was actually the same Moroccan girl from the, like, story way back in the day. I don't even think that story is up anymore because I just couldn't the level of simpness displayed in that story I couldn't even live with that being out in the world anymore. I'm gonna put it back up just because I'm telling this story, so fuck it. I'm gonna put it back up, you can go watch it. But basically what happened is I went on this date with this Moroccan chick, right? And she juuled, right? She had one of these nicotine vape devices, and you know, she's there doing her thing, and we're chilling in the car, and she's hitting it, and then she offers it to me. Now, initially on the inside, I'm like, I don't want to hit this. You know, like, this isn't my thing. But this girl was fine, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this girl was bad, bro. I really thought she was pretty fine. And then also, I was like, you know what? You know, I dabble in magic, and if you've seen my magic brownies video, you know exactly what kind of magic I'm talking about. So I'm like, okay, all right, right? What's this gonna do to me? I handle magic, okay? School of Hogwarts, witchcraft, and wizardry. I am a veteran. What's this little baby, this gay little baby pen gonna do to me, right? So I'm like, all right, shorty, pass you right here. I got that. I hit this thing, and it was like a feeling that I've never experienced before. Now, I am not promoting this, okay? I'm just saying it was like different. You feel me? It wasn't the same as magic. It's not the same as drinking liquor. It was different. And it felt a type of way. A type of way that said, yo, this shit is all right. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, maybe it's not that weird. You feel me? So fast forward a few nights, of course, if you watch the story about the simp story that I linked to earlier, you would know that it never worked out, right? Me and Shorty never went any further because simp shit. Anyway, one night I was having a pretty rough night, you know? I can't remember what was bothering me, but something was bothering me. And I was like, you know what? I want something to take the edge off, right? But I didn't want to go to my go-tos, you know? I was like, yo, that feeling I had when I hit that thing that one time, I could go for that right now. So I drive to the store where they sell those things and I copped one. And I was just chiefing the whole night, bro. And it was a feeling. And thus begins my journey to complete and total addiction. And I use that word because of how hard it hits, you know? It's one of the few non-pussified words we still have today. Addiction. So I got this thing, right, to take the edge off for a night. And I wake up with it in the morning, it's still there. So I'm like, all right, why not? Fast forward, and now I have this relationship with this thing. But the crazy part is, I don't even feel it anymore. Like 99% of the people that you see walking around with these things get nothing from it because your body gets used to it very quickly. So that feeling of bliss that you initially had when you first were introduced to it, that thing only sticks around for a couple weeks, maybe a month if you're lucky. And then after that, you're just doing it out of habit and because your brain is used to it and it wants it more. So now it literally feels like I'm just taking money and throwing it in the garbage. That's what it feels like. And I cannot believe that it is so hard to just do away with it because I have never struggled with quitting things, you know, friendships, relationships, dreams. Quitting has never been a hard thing for me to do at any point in my life. But even with all that, I still have not been able to just put it down forever. Right before I left high school and I was living with my uncle, the uncle that came in clutch after my aunt kicked me out of the first house I was living in when I moved to America. He told me that, son, you're about to go out into the world and you're going to be presented with things that you think you would never do or say yes to. But when that moment arises, you'll find that it's a lot harder to say no than you think it's going to be. It's not going to feel like a big deal at that time, but when you look back, you're going to realize how insidiously this thing that you thought you would never fall victim to crept into your life and you just, you know, became a part of it. So I just want to say, if you aren't already, you know, entrenched in this trap, do not ever bend, okay? It's not worth it. I know this wasn't the funniest video, but you know, you gotta get a few of these out every now and then. Just want to plug some real quick. I did drop an animated music video recently. The animation is amazing. A lot of people say they like it, so go ahead and check it out. Cool. On my shoulder, I hope you know what you did. I didn't think that it would be so hard to say goodbye. I know I told you I would hold you down, that you'd never cry.